died the sons of Roisin? Was it fame? For what died the sons of Roisin? Was it fame? For what flowed Ireland's blood in rivers that began when Brian chased the Dane, and did not cease nor has not ceased with the brave men of 16? For what died the sons of Roisin? Was it fame? For what died the sons of Roisin? Was it greed? For what died the sons of Roisin? Was it greed? Was it greed that drove Wolfe Tone to a pauper's death in a cell of cold wet stone? Will French or Arabic inscribe the epitaph of Emmet when we've sold enough of Ireland to be but strangers in it?
Volunteer Michael Meenan was only 16 when he died on October 30th, 1974. Michael was on IRA active service when a bomb prematurely exploded. With him was volunteer Denis Gallagher, who was barely a month from his 17th birthday, and also a third volunteer was present.
I think about the past few weeks. How will they say we failed? From our school days we were taught that we must yearn.
They had pulled into a petrol station in Derry City, between where the council offices and the roundabout are located today. Their intended target was a British Army Sanger on the quay.
Oh, Grace, just hold me in your arms and...
The third volunteer got out of the car holding a .45 handgun and ordered civilians who had been in the forecourt to leave. He then proceeded to put petrol in the car so as not to arouse any suspicion. Inside the car, Denis, who had been the driver on that night, turned around to speak to Michael, and at that very moment, the bomb exploded.
Say goodbye.
The volunteer, who had been outside the car, was thrown back by the force of the blast. For Denis, time would have been frozen in a brief few moments of shock and uncertainty. There would have been a nightmarish ringing in his ears.
This dear land. So when Porrick called me to his side down at the GPO, I had to leave my own sick bed, and to him I had to go.
Instinct intervened, and he kicked out the windscreen. As he crawled free, the thought that he had escaped the clutches of death would surely have crossed his mind.
They'll take me out at dawn, and I will die.
The rear of the car, where Michael had been seated only seconds beforehand, was nothing more than a twisted mess of smoldering metal.
On your finger, there won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye.
Denis heard the ominous sound of wailing sirens in the distance and saw the flashing blue lights of the fast-approaching enemy vehicles coming up Strand Road from Fort George Army Barracks.
Now as the dawn is breaking, well, my heart is breaking too.
Instead of running in the opposite direction towards Lawrence Hill, as instinct would have most people doing, Denis and his comrade had the presence of mind to walk calmly towards the oncoming military and RUC vehicles.
Everyone will know I loved so much that I could see his blood upon the rose.
As the enemy roared past them, they saw that a group of people had gathered outside the Carrick bar. So they approached them, and Denis recognized one of the men, a teacher, and asked him to take them to Chantallo, which the man did. Denis was later smuggled across the border where he received treatment for his facial wounds. He was then billeted with an old farmer, who fed him with spuds and very little else. Denis told that the old farmer gave him a large tub of Vaseline and instructed him to keep applying it to a wound on his face. He did so, and the wound healed, leaving barely any sign of a scar. After some time, volunteer Denis Gallagher left the old farmer to his endless supply of spuds and returned to Derry and the war. Volunteers Michael Meenan and Denis Gallagher are buried in Derry City Cemetery.
Of Easter week, the week of famed renown, when the boys in green went out to fight the forces of the crown, with Mausers bold and hearts of gold, the Countess dressed in green, and down below at the GPO the rebel flag was seen. Then came 10,000 khaki coats, our rebel boys to kill, before they'd reached O'Connell Street. Of fight they got their fill. Outside the Huns had Gatling guns and cannon to galore, but it's not our fault that Era One got back to England's shore. For 6 long days we held them off, outnumbered 10 to 1, and through our lines they could not pass for all their heavy guns. So deadly poison gas they used to try to end our game, and they burnt our town into the ground like the Germans did Louvain. Who fears to speak of Easter week? Who dares its fate deplore? The red gold flame of Erin's name confronts the world once more. So Irishmen, remember then, and raise your head with pride, for great men and straight men have fought for you and died.